No
Allegedly, they
way.
were
Yeah,
claiming
no
there's
way.
secret tunnels,
What?
man, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But regardless of the secret tunnels and fantastical stories abound with that realm, I do believe Hugh Hefner was the Epstein of that era, the 50s and
Mm.
60s. He was one of the first people to have the Grateful Dead on one of his nighttime shows that he had, and he's kind of considered one of the people that brought the Grateful Dead into national prominence, bringing them onto TV. He had like a late night Playboy Hour show, and this is back when there was like 8 hours of programming on TV, and that's all you watch. You had like 3 channels, so everybody saw this stuff, and he brought on the Dead, and there was a swanky thing. You had half-naked ladies walking around, they're all smoking and drinking cocktails, and the
Ah, the
Dead are
70s.
grooving. I know, man, I'm talking about the '60s, actually. This is back, like, before the
60s.
60s was even freer, I'm almost, assuming, but Hefner, original
Mm.
Epstein. I'm sure there's a lot of Epsteins out there, and I don't even think Epstein's really all that special of a guy. Ultimately, he's either the reptilian that we discussed earlier in the previous hour, or he was just a dude who got mixed up in some kind of nefarious activities and salacious, selling of weapons and materials and all this stuff. And then eventually the CIA and maybe Mossad and all these other people are like, oh, we could really use this guy, use his connections, and pump him up. And then through this guy, we'll entrap a lot of these powerful people. We'll record them doing all this gross stuff that this guy Epstein's clearly into. And, through that avenue, we can run and control the world.
Meh.
All right. Oh, man. Striking out on the Epstein stuff. I'm just trying to keep it going with Epstein because
I know.
the file release was a dud ski, and now here we are. Nobody wants to talk about Epstein anymore. It's almost
It's
like
n it's just not gonna get released. You're just never gonna find anything out, any
no,
more than you already know, you
no, we
know?
never will. Only because I believe this that as you know as reborn as Trump is in the eyes of modern Christians because of the moment of divinity where God saved his life in Butler, Pennsylvania, and now he's allegedly, reborn again and very Christ-like, or he's very into God and all this stuff. Despite all of that, Trump was a billionaire playboy living in the 80s and 90s in Manhattan, and he also did part of his time in Mar-a-Lago. Epstein hung out in both places.
No, he's on those logs.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Everybody is.
Everybody is on those
That's
logs.
what it's both
R
sides of the aisle. It's
Yes,
everybody.
absolutely. Right next to Clinton's
Everybody.
name is Trump's name, right next to his name, right, that's Paul Pelosi, and then it just goes down the list, and you have everybody
I'm
on there, both
I'm
sides
sure
of it.
Bush is on there. Which one? All of them.
All of them, every single Bush, man, yeah, especially Yebe. Yeah,
It's just come on, man. They're
for sure.
all on it.
That's why I think we will never actually get the Epstein list, and we'll keep
No, you
getting
will in 100 years when everybody's dead, and
welcome.
it doesn't matter.
It'll
Yeah.
it'll be a nice little folder. It'll open it up. On one side, it'll say Epstein list. On the other side, it'll say the ingredients of the COVID-19 vaccines. Right?
Yeah, right,
It's
right.
a full ingredient list of the mRNA vax and the Epstein list. Just a nice list.
I don't know which one's gonna surprise you more,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, man. But we do know they both give you heart attacks, right? That's how. Well, Mike,
Oh, man.
we're cruising along, dude. I took us down a deep pathway there with Epstein because I'm still pissed off we didn't get the list. But when it
Never
comes to
gonna happen.
Epstein, when he was gone post Hefner, we had, of course, Diddy and Diddy's freak off parties, and Diddy wired his homes just like Epstein did, just like I'm sure Hugh Hefner did. And our three-letter agencies probably used this footage and everything for all sorts of horrible mind control and or persuasion of our powerful elites, which is why I find it very interesting that now we have Diddy behind bars and he's got a new roommate. Mike, do you know about Diddy's roommate?
Is it really Sam Bankman-Fried?
I typically have a no tuck rule on our show, but unfortunately, this was the only place where I could get this absolutely fantastic interview with Sam Bankman-Fried, who looks like he's having a few too many Diddy freak off parties on the nightly, if you know what I'm saying, right? It's looking a little rough in the
I
inside.
mean, how much baby oil can you get in there, you know?
It looks like he can't even shower it out of his hair. That's how much baby oil he's swimming in. So we got,
Gross.
although we have a no tuck rule, typically we're gonna tuck here for a moment, and we're gonna get just a brief view of what life is like behind bars in the Slammer with Sam Bankman-Fried and P Diddy.
Are you hanging with Diddy? I think he's in there with you.
He is. And it's, I don't know, he's been kind. I've made some friends. It's a weird one.
Don't eat the honey bun. He's gonna leave it on your bed. Don't eat it.
It's
Do
sort
not
of
eat it.
a combination of a few other high profile cases and then a lot of, ex-gangsters or sort of, alleged ex-gangsters.
Definitely alleged. So
tell us about the freak nights. Give us some freak off nights, man.
what's
You know what we want to know.
Sam, don't play coy with us, sir. We know what's going on in there.
like?
Obviously I've only seen one piece of him.
And describe that piece at length, if you will. What are we talking here?
We're gonna need 2 measurements: length and circumference.
Which is, Diddy in prison. And, he's been kind to people in the unit. He's been kind to me. It's also, it's a position no one wants to be in. Obviously he doesn't, I don't, as you said.
It's a position a lot of people unfortunately have. Unfortunately, that's why there's a lot of lawsuits going on.
Blink twice.
If
he's in the room.
Kind of a soul crushing place for the world in general. And what we see are just the people that are around us on the inside rather than
who
we are on the outside.
Oh, I'm sure. And you're 2 of the most famous prisoners in the world in the same unit. What do the armed robbers think?
Well, it's a really interesting question. And of course, some of them are,